New day, new video. Hoping that looks okay. There we go. Yeah. Don't feel like I have to look up so much. Hello little peeps, welcome back to my channel and well, welcome to my little den. So anyway, this is a new series I'm hoping to do on my channel, and I'm going to be talking about different types of sort of, I guess, issues or whatever, or sort of special subjects that kind of relate to me, or if there's something in the media and I feel like I have an opinion on it, I will be, you know, sort of presenting it here in this little series. I've called it Steph's Little Den because it's like, you know, just kind of coming into my den and just sort of talking about things or whatever. I did originally plan to do like a sort of play den, but you know, what can I say? You've got to make these things look kind of grown up, and trying to put a play den together, it's hard. It is like really hard without the help of a mummy or daddy, you know. Also, another thing I wanted to do in this series is that it's probably a great opportunity for you guys to kind of get to know me and that sort of thing, and maybe I'm hoping that, you know, these videos will be able to help someone out there with whatever's going on in their lives, or, you know, whether they have a certain disability or having problems trying to discover their sexuality, or they've been diagnosed with a condition of some sort. I'm hoping this is going to be really helpful. So let's get this video started. So today, episode 1 of Steph's Little Den, I'm going to be talking about something that I've kind of dropped hints into, like, over the last nearly 5 years I've been on YouTube, and that is that I'm autistic. Some people may find that really intriguing to find out. Some people might feel like, whoa, really? It's like, wow, I didn't know that. You just seem so able. And believe me, I've had that in the past. So yeah, I basically wanted to talk about my experiences and stuff like that with it, especially seeing that last month was Autism Awareness Month. Better late than never. But yeah, so to start off with it, I was diagnosed at the age of 3.5 with severe autism, but almost borderline classic autistic. With me, my parents just kind of noticed that there were just the usual problems. I was pretty much a late developer, and I think I always have been a late developer, to be honest. My parents just realised that I wasn't exactly hitting the milestones that many kids would at that age, like, you know, like 2 to 3 years old. Like most 2 to 3 years old will be, you know, pointing and gesturing. They would have a limited vocabulary, but there would be speech there. For me, it wasn't happening. Like, as a baby, I kind of crawled. Like, I'm not sure what age I was until I crawled, but they just noticed there was some things wrong with me. But in another sense, my parents thought I was normal because my sister was so advanced, you know. By the time she was 2, she had like a full vocabulary, so she never had the temper tantrums. But in a way, basically, they thought I was normal, but, you know. So I was due to have my 2-year assessment, as they do. They always do like an assessment for kids to check the milestones. But for me, I missed out on it, so they put me in for the 3-year assessment. Was failing with flying colours, and the doctors sort of said to my parents, oh, your daughter might be autistic. And I imagine for any parent hearing that, it's very scary. My parent, like, I'm not sure if my mum wanted to believe it and that sort of thing, but, you know, luckily I was able to go to a speech therapist because, like I said, I was a late developer, and I didn't end up talking till I was like 4, you know, but they took me to a speech therapist, and at 3.5 years old I got an official diagnosis. And then after that, my parents fought really hard to find a school for me, and so basically most kids back when I was growing up, you would start school at age 5, but I actually started at age 4 because the local special needs school were opening up like a nursery classroom for kids with special needs, so I managed to make it to there. the school I went to was the Edith Borthwick School in Bocking. I mean, even now, as a high functioning adult, even though I do have times where I look back and think, you know, I really wish we were kind of not so mollycoddled and whatever, but in certain aspects they did do amazing things for me. You know, after I was in the nursery, like, you know, preschool class, I moved up to ARB, which was the Autistic Research Base, and basically, like, you know, kind of doing their research on us autistic people, but I believe there was one thing in their research that they didn't quite pick up, that, you know, the fact that autistic people are sensitive to noises and stuff, and yet, you know, maybe things like shouting. Just a little pointer there, you know, not being bitchy, just a little pointer. Anyway, after that I basically became really, I think I was in there for about 2 years, and I became really well, not high functioning, but I started to progress a lot more. And then basically I was allowed to go into Rainbows, which was basically for more kind of able-bodied kids and stuff, and so I wasn't going to be stuck in ARB for the rest of my life, which was wonderful. And so I just found, I think age 6 was when I started making more progress and stuff, but I can kind of recognise myself when I became sort of less autistic, you know, and you know, and well, I guess, as they say, more connected to the real world. I was 7, and then from the age, so pretty much from age 3.5 to, well, pretty much from my young years to up to the age of 7, I was severely autistic. And then pretty much from the age of, yeah, I guess it was the age of like 7 to 17, possibly 18, I was mildly autistic, and I was able to make great strides and stuff. And then when I left school, age 17, I had an extra year at school. I just blossomed and everything into college, and I'm really glad that I went to college and actually did a mainstream qualification. I did BTEC qualifications, and I'm really glad that I did those, because you know, I felt like that was a proper way for me to blossom and just get into the high functioning autistic stage. So, you know, so pretty much from the age of 18, 17, 18 up to now, I'm 24 years old, 25 in 2 months' time. That's a scary thought. One moment. Sorry, I just realised something scary. Oh. And I found my first grey hair ages ago, or like my second grey hair, at age 24. First time around was 23. Would you believe? I think, yeah, 23. Anyway, enough about that. Certain things that some people might be wondering, so with your autism, Steph, like, what sort of things do you struggle with? You know, what sort of sensory issues do you have? For me personally, I've always had issues with noises, you know. I've always had, like, so basically for me, some people with autism are either like smell oriented, like with their sensory problems, like smell orientated, sound, touch, sight, well, that sort of thing. For me, it's always been noise, and occasionally there have been times in my childhood where I'd see something in the media or like something on telly and it would scare me, so, and I would just find it so overwhelming and I just couldn't deal with it, you know. So, but I've always been noise orientated, and there's, you know, certain noises I don't like. Like basically the main one for me is people shouting. I hate it when people shout. You know, especially teachers at school and stuff. It's like, I really found it hard when like they would shout at kids and stuff, and I hated class politics, you know. I mean, if there's any innocent bystanders who had to sit through so many class punishments because, well, basically the teachers were just so fucking lazy, like lazy as fuck, to not just tell off the students that were playing up. You all had to get roped in, you know, and that sort of thing, you know. That sucked. You know, I should have been one of these kids that was like, oh, do you remember when we played that prank on the teacher? I wasn't. I was too busy like, don't be so loud, the teacher's gonna shout. Because I was such a wimp. But I've blossomed and grown into an adult. Sometimes it still kind of affects me, you know. I mean, it doesn't affect me so much now, but like certain things. And I remember when I was younger, I developed a phobia of assemblies, and that was horrible, you know. And I guess in a way that's probably where like the anxiety came from. But actually that's another thing. The one thing I've had problems with from pretty much from a small child was, you know, anxiety. But like when I was really young, I was what they call as an exploder, or as people call it, your stereotypical autistic person, where they scream and shout, they may lash out, they may get very emotional and aggressive. I mean, as a child I was like that, but then when I learned to talk and I was able to actually verbally express what was going on, I became more of an imploder, which basically means, you know, when everything gets too much, instead of your reaction going outwards, you just go inwards. And for me, I get very quiet, I become emotional, and in a way I can still kind of explain to people what's triggered me off, even while I'm still imploding, so to say. And you know, it's that kind of thing. But yeah, I think, you know, there's people out there, it's either they have problems with anger or problems with anxiety. Also, as a child, I did have a lot of problems with learning difficulties. Like in college, I actually got told that I had traits of dyslexia. Not like properly dyslexic, but I had dyslexic traits. And there's many things I do suspect myself of having. I suspect myself, well, I mean, I've been told I have dyslexic traits, but I also suspect myself of having dyscalculia and dyspraxia. By the way, dyscalculia is actually it's like dyslexia, but it's to do with maths, like mathematics, where your brain is affected that way. Hence, dyscalculia, as in calculating, you know, what you do in math and stuff like that. So that's kind of something I suspect myself of having. And also things like dyspraxia, because there's often times where I may accidentally fall over or try topple over. My handwriting is probably at the grade of like an 8-year-old, like, or when I do block capitals, like I've had many times where I filled in, like, you know, application forms for jobs and stuff, and you hand it over because it always has to be black ink and fill in with block capitals. Have you seen my block capitals? It looks like I've given my application form to my like 5-year-old daughter, like my 5-year-old child, and they've turned around and said to my, you know, and they're looking at it, it's like, you know, mummy's supposed to fill in the form herself. Well, it was mummy that filled it in, and guess what? Mummy doesn't have any kids. Go figure. So, you know, and also when I kind of do stuff like, well, like when I'm sort of throwing, like, I don't know what it is, there's like, my hand kind of goes funny, and like maybe my other hand is like, my other arm's doing something, or like, I've noticed one thing, that sometimes when I'm doing things, like if I'm sort of like grabbing like picking something up and putting it somewhere else, there's often times where I'll just do it with one hand and the other arm doesn't do anything, it just goes in, like, if I just stand up and show you, so like, say for instance, I'm picking up stuff like that, and this arm is just like stationary mode, it doesn't do much. And it's always been something that I've always done for like a long time. I mean, occasionally I do try, well, I will try and use both hands, like maybe like picking up 2 things at once, but that's probably one of the reasons why I suspect myself of having dyspraxia. But also the one reason I suspect myself of having dyscalculia is because if you people think I'm going to be that stereotypical autistic that's really good at math, unfortunately your chances are very zilch, because I'm one of those people, when people say like, oh, you know, autistic people, oh, people on the autistic spectrum, you know, they're fantastic at mathematics, and I'm, you know, and I'm there just like, oh, I see you've got that stereotypical myth, do you mind if I just, cheers, big hammer, smash, literally like that. And you know, I've never liked maths in school, you know, I always struggle with math. Like, I could do the very basic stuff, but in a way, if it goes beyond anything sort of basic, it's like my mind just goes blank. And if you and if you ask me to do algebra, you can fuck off, because I never did algebra at school. It's like, and I always feel like if I was in a play where my character was in a like a mathematics exam, I can literally, you know, I can act that out so well, because there were times in maths exams where most people, when they look at like a kind of complex sum, their brain literally goes into, right, I need to calculate this by this, and calculate whatever with that, or whatever, or multiply it, or add it, or take away, subtraction, whatever. My brain just goes, fuck me if I know, you know, literally I'll just be like that, sort of looking and sort of look like I'm sort of looking at it and thinking, when in my brain I'm thinking, how the fuck am I going to do this? So yeah. So I mean, there's certain things I can do in math. Like, I always had problems with money as a kid. I still do to this day, you know. Despite what certain people may say, pips people, you can fuck off. You know, basically I still have problems with doing, you know, when it comes to budgeting and stuff. Basic budgeting, I can sort of do, like, if it, unless it's kind of beyond my capabilities. Complex budgeting, oh, not in a million years, mate. Nope, ain't gonna happen. Nope, nope. If you gave me some complex budgeting to work out, I would just turn to you and say, have you got the calculator? You know, that's basically what it'd be. So yeah, but the thing is, I don't let my autism hold me back. And I would tell you, I was going to tell you guys about, like, having mental health issues with autism. I think I'll probably explain sort of now. I do plan to do another video in the future where I talk about having mental health issues. But with me, it's like, loads of people say that autism can cause mental health problems. And basically, having autism, you are likely to get mental health issues. Like, lots of people do say that autistic people are very likely to develop mental health problems. And it's true, it is true. But what I find very difficult is that when they say that autism can cause mental health problems, and then the mental health problems make the autism worse, because autism can cause mental health problems, and then it makes the mental health problem, the mental health problems makes the autism worse, and you're literally going like this. You are just going round in one huge vicious cycle. I will probably explain a little bit more in a future episode, but the thing is, I try not to let my disability get the better of me. And my parents always brought me up to think, basically, just because I have a disability and I have autism and stuff, they weren't going to let that be an excuse for bad behaviour and stuff, you know. I was going to learn the difference between good and bad, what is a good thing to do, what is a bad thing to do, and that sort of thing. Because autistic children and people can be naughty just like everybody else, but we can be as good as gold as like everybody else. My parents weren't going to treat me differently to my sister. They were gonna, you know, they wanted to raise me just like they did with my sister, and they, you know, they wanted me to be treated equally. Basically, in a way that was, you know, they were going to treat me equal, hence they were going to raise me and discipline me equally, the same as my sister. And the one thing that's been wonderful is, like, my grandparents, like, I asked my parents about this ages ago, like, how did my grandmothers feel, or what was their reaction when I got the diagnosis. And they knew something wasn't quite right. So it wasn't going to be like I was fine and then I got diagnosed and they're like, what? You know, surely not. But they knew something was wrong, and they were very supportive to my parents. And, you know, and the best thing of all is that I remember, like, when I spoke to my mum about it before, she said that, like, grandma just pretty much, you know, tried to help me out as much as possible and stuff like that. And, you know, she still loved me equally, you know, just as much as she loved my sister and stuff. And my granny, she pretty much, like, she had the best attitude with it all, you know. She just thought, you know, Steph is Steph, you know, she's no different, you know, this is what makes, yes, Steph has a disability, but at the end of the day, she is Steph. I'm not going to treat her any differently, you know, she's my granddaughter, and this is what makes her a unique and special person. Like all my other grandchildren are unique and special. This is just what makes her unique and special. So yeah, basically, like, some people might be wondering, what is my relationship like with my autism? Best way I could describe it, it is very much love-hate. There are days where I'm just like, dear God, if you're up there, why did you have to create autism? And if you had to create autism, why the fuck did you have to give it to me? Why? I hate it. You know, I can't do normal stuff like everybody else. I just... God, why did you do this to me? And if you're going to leave me like this for the rest of my life, just please get me something deep fried and smothered in chocolate. But then of course there are some days where I think to myself, you know, I think autism isn't that bad. You know, it makes me the person that I am. You know, as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's what makes me me. And I like me. I mean, without having autism, I want to be the person who I am today, or be able to meet the fantastic, amazing people in my life. Also, I'm glad I got all that memory space for singing song lyrics. I'd be totally screwed if I didn't have that. Cheers, autism. So anyway, that's basically my relationship with it. There's times where I think, why me? But then there's times where I think, I'm glad to be me. So that's the end of this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I don't know if any of you out there watching these videos are on the spectrum. If so, pop it down in the description below. And Steph's question of the day is, what makes you proud to be autistic? Or best still, what's your favourite thing about being autistic? So if you guys have an answer for that, put it in the comment section below, and don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. If you are interested in following more of the Steph's Little Den videos and finding out a little bit more about me, because I guess in a way you get to know me, and I guess through the comment section and everything I get to know you better, and I will have more videos to come up. Also, while I can, at the end of this video, I want to announce that I'm hoping to do another series where I'm hoping to do a special storytelling series, and not only am I going to be reading stories, but I actually plan to write the stories. I have one story written already. I probably won't go into massive details, but I'm hoping maybe I'm going to do a live video where I can talk about this more, and basically, you know, kind of maybe with a live video, get you guys involved. Maybe if you've got some ideas or something, maybe we can have a brainstorming session together, which would be pretty cool. So anyway, don't forget to follow me on all the social media. It'll be in the description box below, including my Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to me, and also don't forget to click the ding, 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 little bell so you can keep up to date and get notifications from me when I upload a video. And I hope you keep yourselves well, and just remember, no matter who you are, what disabilities or what challenges you have in life, you're awesome. And I mean that. You know, if you have the bravery to get through life looking positively at it, you're awesome. And you're amazing, no matter who you are. You are amazing. So I hope you keep yourselves well, my little peeps. Thank you so much for watching. Stay dramatic.